So I was having a chat with one of the spa owners this week about retail sales, and this spa in particular would have a fantastic percentage of retail sales each week, month, year, way above average to a lot of other spas that I've seen. Actually fantastic. They are very dedicated to training, development of their teams, and that shines through. But this year there has been a massive drop in retail sales, and we've been kind of racking our brains as to why this is. You know, is it because there's been a big staff turnover? You know, is it lack of experience? What is it that's causing these retail sales to have dropped so much? I mean, dropped significantly. You know, is it the customer is changing? You know, are people not buying anymore? So we had a look at a lot of things, and we've done some training with the guys. The retail sales have definitely started to improve. But having a meeting this week with the team and just seeing where they were at, it does go back to my training, the business spa management training. In one of the modules we talk about recruitment and retention, and I really do home in on the fact that, again, you know, they say pay your staff well enough so that money isn't a factor, okay? And that doesn't mean we have to break the bank, all right? We have businesses to run, we have payroll percentages to adhere to, but it's paying your staff well enough so that money isn't a factor. But, you know, just setting up commission-based rewards all the time is not going to drive everyone. For example, there's a really high retailer there, okay, one of the senior therapists, or the head therapist, right, and she's a really high retailer, and she is fantastic. So when she is earning her commission, right, because her sales are so high, of course she's going to be incentivized to sell that much, because obviously she's going to get a good amount of money. But for somebody who is not such a strong retailer and maybe retails, say, €100 this week, and they're going to get 10% commission. That's 10 quid, right? 10 euros, $10, whatever you want to call it. And then they're going to be probably taxed on that. So I'm going to go, am I really going to kill myself for an extra 10, 15, 20 euro? I'm not really going to see that money in my bank account. So when I flagged this with the spa owner, she was like, God, you're absolutely right. You know, of course that makes total sense. And I said, do you know what drives your team? And she just kind of looked at me, and I said, what motivates them? I said, because I know one, for example, you know, loves the gym, wants to really get back into it, gained a bit of weight recently, said, you know, I really need to kind of get back on my fitness regime, my fitness track. You know, another one I know loves the shops, you know, and loves kind of clothes shopping and all that kind of stuff, you know. And you can see it because when you ask them, you know, what kind of things they love and what motivates them when we're doing the retail sales training, you know, they say, oh, I love going shoe shopping, or I love this, or I love that, or I love going out to eat. And you can see that smile on their face, and, you know, that's that, oh, it makes them feel good. So I said to the spa owner, you know, rather than, you know, let's okay, still offer the 10% commission, right? But let's offer them a little bit more. Let's incentivize them. Let's sit down with every single team member and ask them, what will motivate you to increase your retail sales? Okay, obviously we're going to continue to train and develop you, but if I was to dangle a carrot in front of you, what would really drive you? Like, is it that if you achieved X amount this month, that we would give you a voucher? Or, you know, would we send you off to another spa to go and have a spa day? Or what is it that would really drive you? Because I know for myself as a mum, money that my salary goes to the family, goes to my daughter. You know, I don't see my money, and and as a mother now, you know, I certainly don't value spending money on myself. So for me, extra money in my salary is right, you know, put that towards horse riding lessons, or put that towards the back to school fund, things like that. It's not going towards, oh, you know, I can buy my next dress or my next pair of shoes. It's really not going to happen for me. But for, you know, a therapist in her 20s or his 20s, they may be motivated by that. They may be motivated by, you know, a bit of a shopping spree or something. But, you know, every extra bit of money that you're giving to your staff is going to be taxable. So sometimes it's just not so motivating. It's motivating on a higher level when you're maybe bringing in €1,000 or €2,000 in retail sales, but 100, it's not going to drive me with that extra €10 in my salary, which I'm going to be taxed on anyway. So I want you to have a look at your incentive programs within your spas. And the first thing I want you to do is sit down with your staff and find out what drives them. What are their goals? Like, what do they want to achieve by the end of this year? Like when I was on the cruise ships, for example, I used to sit down with all my staff members when I'd arrive onto the ship and find out what their goal was by the end of their contracts. And some of them were like, well, I want to go home with X amount of money. And I'm like, right. So every week when we pay you your salary, this means that you need to save X amount. So if you give me that, I'll put it in an envelope and we'll put it in the safe. And I will help you save that money between now and the end of your contract. And they were just so delighted because they were so motivated then to achieving these goals and earning that money because they were saving, you know. Others, you know, I'd incentivize them by maybe they wanted to go off to the guest restaurant, for example. And if you are part of a hotel, you know, utilize that, do contra swaps. You know, I'm big into the contra swaps. I love my staff going to other spas and actually experiencing other spa treatments and other spa experiences. And spa managers love to do the swaps of the vouchers. So, you know, don't look at it as, oh, you know, we can't go to our competitors. You absolutely can. And look, you may get some ideas, you may get some tips, but it will motivate your staff as well and it'll make them feel great. And that's really looking after their well-being as well, which is really important. And I think a lot of us as spa professionals, we don't look after our well-being nearly as enough as we should do. We're so busy all the time, even though we tell everybody else that busy isn't an excuse. But we are so busy that we forget to mind ourselves. And that's why we have burnout, that's why we have injury in the industry. So, you know, look at what will, you know, really drive your staff, you know, and is it a dinner out in the guest restaurant? Is it an overnight stay in the hotel in low season? Find out what really drives and motivates them. Set your goals and targets. And I'm telling you, you're going to get much better results from your staff. More than 20 years doing it, and I can guarantee you, dangling a carrot in front of them with a 10% commission has never given me the results like it has when I have incentivized my staff with what I call real incentives and real rewards.